I hope you aren't put off by its reputation as the greatest American movie ever made. That's too big a burden for any piece of cinema to live up to. But it might help to know that Wells, who was just 24 when he made this, was a child prodigy in the world of theater. He then found a compatible home on radio, which in the days before television was the focal point of home entertainment. He made headlines when he pranked the entire nation with a rendition of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds in 1938. It was so realistic that it caused some listeners to panic, and that made Orson Welles an overnight sensation. Ultimately, he was invited to Hollywood by RKO Radio Pictures and given carte blanche to do anything that struck his fancy. He began and then discarded several adaptations of novels for settling on this portrait of a publishing tycoon, inspired by William Randolph Hearst and his longtime alliance with actress Marion Davies. Kane was unlike any film that audiences had seen before in its non-linear storytelling, its bold camera moves, and use of optical effects. Wells's makeup as the older Charles Foster Kane was groundbreaking too. And it wasn't just Welles who was new to moviegoers. The same was true of his Mercury Company players, who followed him to Hollywood from New York, including Joseph Cotten, Agnes Moorehead, Ray Collins, and others who in time would become familiar and even famous. The tug of war over who is really responsible for this landmark has gone on for more than half a century. The screenplay was written by Herman J. Mankiewicz, as is recounted in the 2020 film Mank, where he was played by Gary Oldman. But Mankiewicz shared the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay with Welles, who rewrote much of the script. As a veteran of radio, Welles paid as much attention to the soundtrack as he did to the look of his film, which was shot by the great cinematographer Greg Toland and scored by another newcomer to Hollywood, Bernard Herrmann. I happen to agree with most critics and participants in recurring polls that this is the greatest Hollywood movie ever made. Each time I see it, I notice things that eluded me before. It is a feast of a film, and you're going to see it now on a theater screen where it belongs, courtesy of Fathom Entertainment and Warner Brothers.